The masses gather here to speak their piece. Some fall to the wolves. Others struggle and rise above them all. Enter into the sinister mind of our host. Dive deeper than any mortal has gone before. BODS Mayhem Hour is upon us.
Hey, Mark of Hush.
This is Charles from Hush, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. But before I introduce my awesome guest today, please get out to the YouTube page and subscribe to it. Just subscribe to BODS Mayhem Hour. That's all you got to do. Subscribe. It helps me out, helps all these bands out, because we always have a lot of great interviews coming down the pipe for you all. Today, I want to welcome vocalist Charles Curet of Hush. Upstate New York crust sludge metal outfit Hush will release their third full-length album in 10 years, titled The Pornography of Ruin, June 24th. Also check out singles There Can Be No Forgiveness Without the Shedding of Blood and Above Your Head. They close like giant wings. So I got Charles on here to talk about all this stuff, and man, we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. So Charles, welcome to the podcast. I'm glad to have you on here, my man.
Hey, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm super stoked to talk to you today.
How you been doing these last couple of months, man? Especially with all this pandemic and everything kind of opening back up. How you been doing personally?
Good. Just personally, I've been kind of really busy with, my work job and then just doing some stuff for the band. And getting ready for this release a little bit. And then I got really sick about 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure that I had COVID, but I took a bunch of the home tests and I kept testing negative, but it was rough, whatever it was. So that kind of put me on my butt for a little bit.
Good. I'm glad it wasn't COVID, man, because I've had it and I didn't have the bad version of it, but I had COVID and it still sucked, even the after effects of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know plenty of people who have had it at this point, and it does seem like it's been just brutal on everybody, Yeah.
How excited are you guys for the release of this third full-length album, The Pornography of Ruin? I mean, this has been 10 years in the making for this, man. How does it feel for you guys finally?
Oh, yeah, it's super great to get it out, because we've been a band for 10 years, and we actually started writing this record back in about 2016 after we had finished recording our last release, which didn't get released until a couple years later. But so we were planning out this record for a really long time, and it took a lot of sort of delays and twists and turns to come out the way that it's come out, and that's kind of become something that I appreciate about it, actually.
But did you think it would be 10 years before the band released its third album? I mean, or did you think it'd be, even more between that?
No, actually, I mean, we kind of, as a band, we're on a pretty solid release schedule of releasing something like every year, every 2 years. We started as a band in 2012, and we put out a demo EP within 6 months of being a band. And then we put out our first full length in 2014, our second EP in 2016. And then, like I said, we had recorded our last release, Untitled 2, in 2016, and we were planning to release it that year. But then I was actually involved in like a pretty bad car accident where I was severely injured, and it took me about 6 or 8 months to recover from that. So I couldn't record my vocals for that until I was recovered. So then you're already into like 2017. And at that point, that was kind of when our delays started as a band, our obstacles, I guess.
I see Mark has finally joined us here. Mark is the drummer of Hush. He's finally on here with us. How you doing, Mark?
Hey guys, sorry about that. I was eating a portobello burger. It's delicious.
Oh no, strike one, Mark. Strike one.
That's it. And I had a portobello burger.
Wow.
But yeah, go ahead. How you guys doing?
I said somebody's had a portobello burger and went and asked us if we wanted one. Hey, what do you think about that? No, man. There now. All right, Charles, I got to ask you this, though. With being all this knockdown that this band has went through, though, do you feel like this is kind of like a redemption album to say, you know, fuck you, we're going to do this whether this is not meant to be or not. We're going to do this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Mark would probably agree. It took such a long time, and there were so many kind of just bumps in the road and crazy things that happened that it feels really like it was a struggle to make it and to get it out. And I don't know, you know, I think it made it a better record, like I said, but also it feels like kind of almost like a relief to be done with it and get it going. I don't know, Mark, what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's a weird one because it was like in the time of writing this album, I feel like I can think of 5 different stages of my life or something like that. You know, it was like different practice spaces, and you know, we were writing some of the songs that not many, but at one point we're writing for an album, and we were just like, no, we don't like any of those songs. A couple parts here and there, but it was really interesting to watch the flow of it. I didn't get, like you said, get to the point where it got recorded and then it was finished. And we're like, oh, okay. All this, like, it all made, somehow it didn't make sense until the album was recorded. And they were like, oh, yeah. This is great. Yeah.
What led the track There Can Be No Forgiveness Without the Shedding of Blood to be the first track released off this album, guys? What was it about that track that this had to be the first one to go out swinging?
I think that it's kind of just the heaviest and most straightforward song on the record. So it was actually kind of a surprise to me because when we recorded the instrumentation for the record, I hadn't finished this song at all. I like barely knew what it sounded like. And then once I started working on it, I was like, oh my God, this is coming out to be like so brutally intense. And I think it was also one of the last songs we finished for the record. So it was kind of fresh in our mind when we were thinking about what we wanted to put out. And I think it's just kind of like, it's a crusher kind of all the way through, you know?
Yeah, agreed. And, you know, it definitely helped me out making the video because it's the shortest song on the album. So I didn't have to make a short 15-minute short film. So that was good. But no, yeah, like you said, it's the most, just straightforward. It just hits hard and it doesn't stop till the end. So, yeah.
I got to know this, though. I know you guys have been working on this since 2016, but when you look at this album and the work that you guys put into it from the infancy stages to the childhood to the adulthood of finally being out there, I know you mentioned it was a big relief, but how proud are you to say we finally got this out here? Now we can move on. And I know I'm sick of the songs, but to finally have that, that breath of fresh air to create more new stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I think that we're all actually really excited to that. I mean, it's always great when you get like something that you've made out into the world, you know, like it does feel like it was your thing that was kind of living inside you for a long time. And now you get to see what other people think of it and, kind of push it out into the world and be like, oh, here's the thing that we made finally, and I, at least, and I'm sure that Mark would agree, I think we're all like really itchy to write new music now because this album kind of led us in some different directions that we want to explore a little bit further with some new songs.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's like the very exciting thing when, we took some chances on this record and especially, some of the dynamics we pulled off in this record. You don't know truly what it's going to be like till the song's finished. And I think, it came out amazing and we're all really excited about it. And now we almost have a an idea, you know, you can start writing again, and you start writing again, you have this reference of what we were able to pull off.
Yeah.
And then as you move on, it's like, what can we do? Yeah. What can we do next? We know what we can do very well. Let's go from there. So
were you guys a little nervous though, putting this out since it's been so long with these songs, or are you just finally done? Let's go.
I think for me, it's the only thing that's like that gives me any kind of like nervous feeling. I wouldn't even call it nervous. It's sort of more like a excited tension, but just because it is like a little bit of a different direction for us. It has a lot more dynamic range and kind of melodic exploration than our other records do. And you know, I don't think that it's going to turn anyone off who was previously a fan of the band or anything like that. But it is just a different direction, and it's sort of like a more vulnerable side of what we do. And with something like that, I think you're always a little bit like, oh man, what if people are like, this wasn't what we wanted, maybe, you know? But I think all of us in this band, at least, we're kind of doing this, you know, for ourselves to make the whatever artistic statement it is that we would like to make. So I think in that regard, the record really is the record that we wanted to make for, I think, a long time.
Is this the sound that we're going to get from you guys down the road, or are you guys still experimenting outside that box to create more new music for you guys?
Mark, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be curious, but I mean, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden we wrote 2 songs that were like the heaviest we've ever written, or something like, you know, like brutal nonstop. It's interesting, and that's why, you know, like Chuck said, we're extremely excited to start writing again, because I don't think we know yet what is coming next, but it's whatever it is, it's going to be natural because we've been working on this album for so long. It's just going to be a great release of, you know, creativity. See what happens. Yeah.
I think what I was thinking about it is kind of like, you know, on this record we did some stuff with you know, instruments we haven't really used in the past. Like there's some synth stuff on there, there's some piano, a little bit of organ and stuff, and some of those sounds and textures, the way they manifested on the record, I think we all really like them, and we'd like to work further on like incorporating stuff like that in a heavy context. So I think in that sense, like these songs definitely lead into what we're going to do next. But like Mark said, you know, we might just go and write like 2 like just pounding brutal songs, and then as a cleanser or something, and do a weird like all synth record. I don't know what we're at this point, you know. Yeah,
well, we're extremely lucky that the one person in the band, Jordan, owns the studio that we recorded at, and that leaves it open to, when you're writing music, I feel like trying out all those textures and trying all that new stuff leaves it, the possibilities are almost become endless, because you're pretty much writing in a recording studio.
Any tracks that did not make this album we can see on another album or EP from you guys, or did everything that you want make this album, or no?
I think we did. I don't think we have. Yeah, I think every song made it to the album, right? But we had a bunch of songs that we kind of weeded out or tore apart, but I don't think anything, to my knowledge, I also have a terrible fucking memory, but I don't think there's a song.
No, yeah, we don't have anything left on the table right now, because part of like what Mark was saying earlier about like living through a bunch of phases of his life with this record was that I can remember like maybe 3 distinct records that we wrote and then threw out and then reworked in order to make the record that you have heard. So in that sense, I mean, we probably had like 10 songs and just kept rewriting them and tearing them apart and then rewriting them again and throwing out everything that was left. So right now, yeah, we're just we're an empty vessel.
Any tracks standing out more to the both of you than any right now? I know these are your babies, but are there any that stick out for the both of you possibly?
Trying to think. It's hard to say. There's parts to every song that really get me. Jeff's the newest, the song that we did for the video, I listened to 1 million times because I made the video. So I need a break from that song. Yeah, I mean, that song's amazing. But I think the song we just released is one of my favorites. I think that one takes you through a lot of emotions in one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of like the stuff on the record that we did that has more of the feel of stuff that we hadn't really done before. So like for me, when I sit down to listen to this, I always go first to the sound of kindness in the voice, which is like the closest thing to like an instrumental song that we've ever written. It has very, very little vocals, but and it has the most like synth and textured kind of stuff in it out of any of our songs, but it's so huge sounding and heavy in its second half that it gets me every time. I don't know, I just really like it a lot.
Was there a track that you guys were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to? And I'm sure these changed several times before it actually made the album. But was there one that just kept changing and finally said, okay, fuck it. Well, we gotta be done with this one.
Oh man, yes. Mark.
The one I was thinking about was last track, the end of the last track. I guess we didn't mess around with it too much, but it was just like we wrote a dangerous line and we did it great. The building up, the end of the album build up, right?
Yeah, the melodic end of the last song, sure.
Yeah, but that was one of those ones that it had a couple, should we make it super heavy at the end? Do we go the opposite way? And we tried a couple ways, and then it's just like when we started recording it, that's when it started coming out more natural. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, that song was crazy too, because I actually had never heard most of the end of that song until I walked to the studio and you guys were recording it. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, this is a lot different than I thought it was now that I'm actually hearing it now on a practice tape. But yeah, I think that song, and also the first song on the record, I Am Without Heaven and Law Unto Myself, we rewrote that song a few different times, and there was just a long middle section that we really had a problem with for like a year and a half. And we kept rewriting it, and it didn't sound good like anyway to us for a really long time until we just like figured it out one day.
Yeah.
Why was it so important that the look and feel of the Above Your Head, They Close Like Giant Wings video was important to you guys? What was it about that had to be perfect before it got out there? What let's talk about that a little bit.
Mark, you've hit that, you made it.
I always had this idea, and it's not a new idea. You kind of build your own destruction. And I wanted to that idea lived in my head for a long time. And then when Chuck came to me, it was like, hey, let's make a video together. Let's do something for this album. I was like, all right, I got an idea. And then with that, and it was perfect because that idea lived in my head. But then when it came, read the lyrics, talked to Chuck about the idea of the song, it just naturally fit. It was like a super easy thing that came together. And then the look of it was interesting to just mess around with this, super desolate, washed out. There's only one thing that you can focus on in every shot. There's it's not like a beautiful scene around you or something like that. There's one focal point in every part, and it's Yeah, I don't know. It was a really fun one to make, and we also managed to put our bass player through terrible torture the whole time in
Yeah.
like -degree weather, and yeah. So the pain you see in his face is 100% real.
Probably.
Oh yeah, like especially when he's like pouring the gasoline on himself. It was like -15. It was terrible. Yeah, I mean, and Mark and I, we're like doing filming stuff, and we're all like bundled up and have gloves on, and Jordan and Jay were just freezing their asses off getting filmed, and it was that was a great moment for me personally to see them suffer a little bit, actually.
Jason,
Yeah, but it was a cool, it was like my first time doing a video for Hush, because I've done some videos here and there for other projects that I'm in, and doing it for Hush it was just a very different. I was able to use my kind of style, but working with Chuck, we were able to almost like meld, everything together to be very much a Hush video. To me, when I watch it, it feels very suiting to Hush and everything we kind of project.
Yeah, I think we kind of managed to like link up our aesthetics, like the typical like Hush aesthetic and like your style of like making videos, which was really, really cool. And like Mark and I have been friends for like a long time, and I've always wanted to do something like this with him, and it was always like a frustrating thing that we were in a band together and like couldn't do like a video project or something, because it was just like writing this record that was going to take like a decade to finish or something. Yeah.
And I spent like I was working at the time, and I did not a lot, but enough special effects in it, and I always dabbled in it, but it was amazing to have a reason to work on that. And I was sitting at the CBS studios during March Madness, not paying attention to my job at all, and just making Jay lit on fire. It was, it was a great time.
Oh, you done pissed him off. He's like, I'm never, ever doing a video again with these fuckers.
Oh, yeah. I think he's definitely going to opt out of being the protagonist of the next video. He's not.
He said the worst part was the cocoa powder in the beginning.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Eating is just like 100% cocoa, not even like any sugar. It's like the pure cocoa powder.
Yeah. Oh, that was gross.
When Mark comes toward him again, he's like, Jay, he's gonna be like, no.
Yeah. Well, I think I got to give a shout out to Jay, because we basically told him what we wanted to do and how shitty and terrible it was going to be. And Jay is like such a chill dude, and he's into the whole Wim Hof Iceman guy a little bit. And so he was like, oh yeah, no, I'm down to like go into water in sub-zero temperatures, like no problem. And I was like, bro, you're crazy, dude. Yeah. He just did not really complain at any point.
No.
I'd have been a diva. No. No.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, so what am I getting out of this? Some like Taco Bell or something other?
Yeah, right. Half a piece of pizza.
The only thing he kept telling me was, he's like, this better be fucking good. We're just making them do a bunch of crazy shit, and then that's all he said throughout the whole time.
If you guys ever approach me and say, Bod, we need your help, no.
Yeah, dude, as just an advice to you and all of your listeners, do not get involved with us.
Hey, far away.
Yeah, get a mysterious email from Mark and just click delete.
Yeah. No, man, he'll put you through some shit, man.
Oh, this is great. So the album cover photo comes from an urban explorer, Adrian Ledesma, and the design, it came from you, man, Mark. Let's talk about this a little bit. What captured your eye about this photo? Because I know there's two coffins on here, but let's talk about all this.
Chuck had the vision on this one. Yep.
I actually had no idea who Adrian was prior to seeing this photo. and he has he's on every social media platform. His handle is usually Abandoned Dallas, because he's based out of Texas. And he had posted this photo to a subreddit that I follow about, like abandoned places. And I was actually like in the middle of doing the design for this record already. And it was something completely different, but I was having a lot of problems with it. And I didn't really like it. And I saw this picture and it just got stuck in my brain for a few days. And then I acted like a total psycho, and I sent him messages on every single platform asking him if we could use this photograph. And he eventually got back to me and was basically like the coolest, chillest person. And he really graciously let us use it for free. And and I've since like really messaged with him back and forth a little bit, and he's just a really nice person. And he has he makes these videos and posts photos of explorations of abandoned places in urban and rural environments. I think at one point he and another dude went and filmed the Tiger King's abandoned zoo. Thing or whatever. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I mean, that was just it, man. I saw this picture, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. It just seemed to represent to me like everything that the record is about, because it's like this kind of it's like a ruined, kind of trashed funeral showroom with two open caskets. But it just like looked strangely beautiful to me. And I guess he said it wasn't staged at all or anything. It was just, I mean, it's a showroom, so was probably staged by the people that own the funeral home. But I don't know. It almost feels like there were just two people in the caskets and they just left before you walked into the room or something. You know what I mean? And thought that was a really weird and intense feeling, and it was really evocative. So I had to get it. And I feel super lucky that he didn't just tell me to go like fuck myself or something,
He's like, oh God, here's these guys now.
It's like, oh man, will you guys leave me alone? I'm sorry I let you use that picture.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna hear this interview after what y'all did to Jay, and he's like, God, thank God I didn't get involved with that other than say
Yeah, luckily we got to say okay before the video came out. So
yeah, for sure.
But think about it though, man, that those two caskets like that's symbolic. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's that kind of hit me hard.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, it was just when everyone first saw it, we're like, yep, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, there was no discussion. It was just so obvious. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I think I showed it to you guys before he had even let me use it, and I was just like, yo, if I can get this dude to let me use this picture, this has got to be it. And everybody was like, oh yeah, definitely.
I watch IRL streams on Twitch, and I love abandoned stuff, and to see these people go into these locations, it's just like these folks got up and left and just left everything the way it was, and it's so creepy.
Yeah,
especially like these haunted locations. Like Penhurst is one of them, which I do a paranormal show, and I'm going to be doing a live stream from there next year.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's still teeth there from the people that was there. There's still.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think is really cool about those kind of places. I feel very drawn to that kind of stuff as well. For a long time, I lived way out in the woods in upstate New York. And in that area, there were just a lot of abandoned buildings that, had been old farms or parts of an old town that wasn't really there anymore. And actually, on the layout for the cassette release of this record, the cassette itself comes in like an O card sleeve, and the pictures on the outside of that are pictures of abandoned buildings that I took that were near my house. So awesome. Yeah,
I love the abandoned stuff. I love paranormal stuff. I love everything about that. And hey, I'm a strange guy. I don't care.
I like that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a coward though. I would never go to those places.
Oh, come on, Mark. You put everybody through hell, but Mark.
That's how it is, man. It's
all talk.
Mark's that guy in the back going, "Yeah, you can do it. Yeah." What you
Yep.
do? I'm over here.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's egging you on, but he's not gonna like save you when you fall into a pit.
Yeah, I just need a camera with a really good zoom, and I'm back, and it's good to go.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, you go into the abandoned building, I'll film it. Yeah,
That's horrible, Mark. Horrible.
dude, he's brutal. He seems nice, and he looks a little bit like Jesus with glasses, but he will crush you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. Oh,
I'll do-
God. What's the growth musically, guys, you've seen from yourselves working on this album, if anything possibly? What have you noticed about yourself that's, gotten better, improved, or something that stood out about the band or yourselves that you never noticed until now?
I want Mark to answer this question because I sort of frequently wonder why you are in Hush, actually,
Yeah.
from like a music standpoint.
Yeah, I jumped in the Hush. I wasn't the original drummer. I was the second drummer jumping in, and a friend of ours, Ryan, was the first drummer, who was absolutely amazing. And I had this like style of music I never played. I did like more kind of post punk. And I was like trained in jazz, all this stuff, and then never played metal music. Got involved, and it was just a true experience for me. It changed. It made me a 1,000 times better drummer because the drummer before me was amazing. So now I've got to learn this dude's parts, like that type of thing. And then just this ability to play such open space. It's almost difficult to play slow than it is super fast. And then as our band progressed, what I've noticed is everyone is taking into consideration seemingly just the mood of the song more. I think we're going away from like, every band does it, like the cool part, right? You got the cool part, all the stuff, and but with this album especially, and albums before, like we're slowly doing, and I think we're really hitting the stride of the mood of a song and the feel of a song, and like what a viewer is gonna take away from it at the end. I think that's been the most interesting growth that I've noticed in Hush.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I would say actually, like, normally I probably wouldn't say this, but on this record, my vocals are significantly different in parts than they have ever been in Hush. And I would attribute that to two things. One of them is that in the middle of writing this record, I joined a chaotic hardcore band for no good reason, and I do a different style of vocals in that, and it kind of just gave me a reason to practice singing all the time in a different range. And I without even really consciously thinking about it too much, dragged some of that into my vocal style in Hush. And then the other would be that I got really high one night smoking some weed, and I decided that I would try to sing on a demo, just sing some clean vocals, which I normally, I think, might not have done. But I was at a crossroads with a melodic part in the long middle song on the record that's like 12 minutes long, and the quiet melodic part in the middle of that song is so long that it's almost like a song by itself. And I just had no idea what to do with it or how to approach it or anything. And so I just got really high and opened up GarageBand and started recording a demo of the song with like my dog sitting next to me. And I just sang out this quiet part in sort of like a whispered vocal. And it sounded cool. And I just kind of kept doing it. And I think had I not been a little bit high, probably just wouldn't have tried it. I would have been maybe like even too self-conscious around my own dog.
Oh, your dog is judgy. Your dog judges all the time.
Oh yeah, she would have looked at me and been like, "You suck. You're not good at this, dude."
Did Mark tuck into this too? Is he easy?
Yeah. I'm the one whispering and everyone.
A plan to get it to parents publicly.
Oh, the dog and Mark. Boy, I tell you, Mark's cutting people right. Oh, dude.
There's coming in this album and previous ones, but this one more. I always try to go attack the songs where I like get the part and I get the idea, but I never like to record something where I have sometimes you have a fill or something that you definitely want to happen. But for the most part, all my drumming with Hush is ad lib. Minus like the main parts, but it's every time I play it, it's slightly different, and I love that because I used to be the opposite. I was in a band where everything was exactly the same every time you played it. There's no variations, and that just bored the shit out of me. And being in Hush is amazing because the space is so open. I can do anything. I literally have all the time in the world to do anything I want. And that's what's fun recording because you just don't know. Yeah, it's a different. Every take is slightly different, and then put it together.
That was an interesting thing when we were recording the record. Was that there are a lot of really long passages that have a lot of open space in them, and Mark doesn't play to a click or anything, so it makes it so that the rhythm has a little bit of back and forth swing to it, and that. There's something about that gives the music a really organic feel, like you're almost in a live setting or something. It doesn't, make it feel too like mechanically paced. And I really like that about the way that Mark plays these songs.
I got to know this though. I mean, you guys are getting back out on the road since 2018. I know you guys got other projects and everything like that, but any nervousness or need to kick some dust off for playing live with this band after, trying to go back out on the road?
I'm just super excited. Yeah. It's
I think
just a bunch of talented musicians that, the way I feel like I'm playing with a bunch of talented musicians that, you play live and it's good. It's just, I don't know. I've always had a Hush live, other than having to move all the fucking equipment. Hush live is one of my favorite things to do, playing for sure.
Yeah. I agree. Hush is kind of like in a live setting is like a really intense thing, I think. And because of that, I'm just really excited to get out there and do it again. There's like the way that we play live, we all face each other and don't really face the audience at all. And it's like a kind of intimate experience for us as players with each other, even though we're, surrounded by people. And I love that. That's like my favorite thing about doing Hush live. And, I think because, a few of us are in other projects or whatever, for the most part, everybody, I think, except Jordan and Jay has played live a few times since the last time Hush played, and and we practice on a regular basis or whatever. So I think we're just all pretty stoked to get out there and just make a shit ton of heavy noise.
What do you both hope everyone takes away while listening to this new album from you guys once it drops out, man? What do you guys hope that they take from it?
I just want people to listen to it and just feel what they feel when they hear the songs. I think, like Mark said earlier, that we've kind of gotten a lot better at controlling the mood of a song and turning it into kind of like an emotional statement or something, for kind of lack of a better term. And I just want people to hear that and then feel whatever it makes them feel, because I think it kind of it communicates what it's supposed to well, and that's one of the things I'm probably proudest of in the record, is that it does exactly what I hoped it would do when I hear it. So I just hope it does that for other people. It stirs something in them and gives them something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is the part with this album, or the point of this album, is the way we, I don't want to say that we controlled the mood, because everyone's going to get their own experience, but we just managed to add really good atmosphere, really good mood using the new texture. I think you're going to be able to get, even in one song too, you'll get different emotions throughout the entire song. Let people feel whatever the fuck they want to feel while they're listening to it, we got it. We put it out there, and it'll be. I'm just excited to start hearing, from all friends, strangers, kind of their take on it.
I know you both had a lot of music growing up that you love to listen to, and I know you still do to this day. But do you still have a go-to album, or maybe just a song that you find yourself going back to and listening to that you just cannot kick out? You've got to have it at least maybe once a week, twice a month, or something you have to go back and listen to.
What are my fallbacks, my regression albums? I'm a big musicals guy, so I love musicals. I'll fall back and listen to one musical called Funny Face, one of my favorites.
I love that. That's your too, man. Because mine's so kind of ridiculous and terrible for somebody who's in a metal band. I really love the George Michael song Freedom 90. It is one of my favorite songs ever. I know. But man, I listen to it a couple times a week easily. And lately, man, I have been listening to the Weeknd song Starboy all the time. I need to listen to it for some reason. I love it so much.
Yeah, when I fall true regression, I want to feel like I'm in 8th grade again. It's the Deftones. That's I don't know if that's considered corny. I never know. The Deftones ride that line of some people remember them as being. I mean, I love the Deftones.
Yeah, I love the Deftones, so I don't think that that's corny at all. Yeah, if I do go like all the way back, really feel high school or something, I always go back to the Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream record. I really love that record so much. Yeah.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Hush's new album that's coming out June 24th, entitled The Pornography of Ruin. And you definitely want to check this out and check out all the other stuff as well. Mark and Charles, how can folks stay in touch with Hush, buy this new album, check out all these singles, tour dates, all this stuff Hush related? How can they do that, guys?
Oh man, so on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we're just at Hush Doom, all one word. You can check us out there. We're probably most active on Instagram. But yeah, all of our stuff is there. We're at hushdoom.bandcamp.com. You can listen to all our stuff. All our records prior to The Pornography of Ruin are up there for name your price download. And, go check them out. Go download them for free if you want, man. Just listen to them. Listen to the songs,
Before I let you guys go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Start it off.
Mark of Hush.
This is Charles from Hush, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. Subscribe to that YouTube link because I need the subscribers. Plus, there's a lot of great stuff that is coming down the pipe for BODS Mayhem Hour. Also, please check out Hush. They released their 3rd album, The Pornography of Ruin, June 24th. Please check this band out. And also, too, folks, I'm affiliated with Metal Inc. Forum Obscura, which is an online magazine that handles obscure art, band reviews, I should say album reviews, stuff like that. So check that out also. And Diary of the Madman, the ultimate Ozzy podcast with Dan and Josh. Trust me, they know everything about Ozzy Osbourne. They know more stuff about Ozzy Osbourne than Ozzy knows about himself. Trust me. Mark, Charles, man, I appreciate you guys for being on here, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. And Mark, Jesus, say amen, brother.
See you, man.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.